Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to today's Mahabharata reading and Bhagavad Gita Shloka recitation session. We'll begin now. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता एज इट इज की जय। श्री महाभारत की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। So we'll recite Bhagavad Gita chapters 7, 8 and 9. Okay. Rasapriya, you want to go first? Bhagavad Gita 7.1. Oh, I'll mute myself.
Sri Bhagavan Vasa Naya Saktamana Partha Yogam Punyam Samsayam Samudram Vitagrapati. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Now hear, O self-become, how by practicing in yoga, with your mind attached to me, you can remove good, free from wrong." 7.2 Jnanam Deham Samajnanam Edam Lakshyamyasya I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numerous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. 7.3 Manusyanam Samastris Yasyajatati Siddhe Nirtam Visattanam as many thousands of men, one man endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. 7.4 Bhumarabo Nalovayu Pavano Bhutere Vata Ahankara Iti Yamne Yadna Prakriti Sasana. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, wind, and elephants, and false ego. All work all is life separated material energies. 7. Aparayam Majastvanyam Prakritam Vidhimevaram Diva Bhutam Abaho Yayadam Haryadendam. Besides these, O mighty armed Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind, which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. 7.6 Etadyonini bhujani karmani bhagavaya All created beings with their souls and all that is know for certain that I am the origin and the resilience. 7. Mahabharata Nanya myself up in town children there is no true superior to me. Everything rests upon me. As for customer 78. So how much ago there Prabhas makes the peacefully Pranavaha Sarvabit so Ocean of Kunti. I am the taste of water, the light of the sun, the moon, the syllable of the I am the sound in each the ability in the 17. Visa Man Sarva Bhutan, Siddhartha Sanatha, Buddha, Asmi, Tejas Vina, O son of Brahma. Know that I am the essence of all existences, 3,000 of 3,000, and the promise of all.
7-11. Balam Balavatam Jaham, Kamarajatam, Dharma Varutho, Veshu, Kamasmi Bharatarsaha. I am the strength of the strong, devoid of passions and desire. I am sex life, which is not contrary to religious principles. The heart of the Bharatas, Arjuna. 7-12. Ye Jaiva Satvika Bhava, Rajasasam Atte Veditam Vidhi, Natmahante Shute Mani. Know that all states of being, be they of goodness, passion, or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am in one sense everything, but I am independent. I am independent. For they, on the contrary, are within me. 7:13. Tribhirgunamayair ebhi sarvam idam jagat mohitam na vijanati mamebhya paramabhyayam. Deluded by the three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible. 7:14. Daivi hirsha runamai mama maya duratyaya mame vaye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. This divine energy of mine, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. 7:15. Namam dushkriti no murdha prapadyante naradhama jivaya pamrita jnana asaram bhavamarshata. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. 16. Chaturvidha bhajante mam jana sukritinorjana artho jigyasarartharthi jnani cha bharatarshabha. O best among the Bharatas, four kinds of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me: the distressed, the desire of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. 7:17. Tesham gyani nityayukta eka bhaktir vishishyate priyo hi gyani no tyartham aham saja mama priyaha. Of these, the one who is in full knowledge and who is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best, for I am very dear to him, and he is dear to me. 7:19. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabham. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. 720. Kamaistaistaritagyan prapadyante nidevata tam tam niyamam asthaya prakritya niyatasvaya. Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulations of worship according to their own natures.
72. Sataya Sataya Yuktas Tasya Brahmihade Navade Jataka Kama Nayeva Vitadnikam. The Lord gives such faith. He endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desires. But in actuality, these blessings are bestowed by me alone. Antavattu palam tesam Vadbhavatyopamedasam Devan Devatayo Yanti Madbhakta Yanti Mamapi. Much smaller thousands worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. 74. Avyaktam vyaktamakranam manyante mahabuddhaya param bhavam ajananto mamandayam anuttamam. 100,000 men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. Maham prakasha sarvasya mokaya savadvata abhijanati yoko manayamavyayam. I am never manifest to the fools and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potencies, and therefore they do not know that I am unmarked and infallible. Vedam samatidani vartamanani charjana vanashami charudani namtu vedana kastana. O Arjuna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me no one knows. Sadvesa samuttena vandamudena bharata sarvabhutani samoham sargayanti parantapa. Samappada, O conqueror of the four. All living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities, origin from desire and hate. 78. Yesam tvantakadam papam dhanam punya karmanam tetvandamo mukta padante mam vridavrata. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the duality of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination.
85. Antakale chamam eva smaran vakale varam yaprayati samabhavam yati nastyatra samshayah. And whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. 86. Yam vapi smaran bhavam yajatyam kekale varam Antam evaiti kunteya sadatman bhava bhavitaha. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fear. 87. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmarayantya cha mai arpita manu buddhir name vaishyasya samshayah. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out the prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. 8.8. Abhyasa yoga yuktena cetasa nanyagāmina paramam purusham divyam yati parthaनु chintayan. He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path. He, O Partha, is sure to reach me. 8.14. Ananyacheta satatam yomam smarati nityasha tasyaham sulabha partha nityayuktasya yogina. For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pritha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. 8.15. Manupetya punarjanma dukhalayam ashafsatam Nakumanti Mahatmanaha Samsiddhim Paramam Padam. After attaining me, the great souls, who are yogis in devotion, never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. 8.16. Abrahma Bhuvanavoka Punaravartino Janma Bhavupetya Tukateya Punarjanmana Vidyate. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. Sahasrayuga Paryantam Ahayat Ratrim Yuga Sahasratam Teho Ratravito Janam. By human calculations, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night. 8.19. Upayaman sa evayu Bhutva Paliyate Ratriya Vashapartha Prabhavatyaha Nadamu. Again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being, and they, with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated. 8.20. Parastasman tu bhavam vyakto vyaktat sanatanaha yansa sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu navinashyati. That there is another unmanifest nature, which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is.
Radhika,
8.21. Avyakto shara ityuktas tam aho paramam gatim yam prapya na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. That which the Vedantas describe as unmanifest and infallible, that which is known as the supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one never returns, that is my supreme abode. 8.28. Vedeshu yagyeshu tapasu chaiva daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam ateti tatsaiva midam viditva yogi param sthanam apeti chadyam. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end he reaches the supreme eternal abode. 9.1. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Idam tu te guyatamam pravakshyami anusuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yadgyatva mokshase shubhat. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence. 9.2.
Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyakshavagam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting, and it is joyfully performed. 9.3. Ashraddhadana Purusha Dharmasyasya Parantapa Aprapya Mam Nivartante Mrityu Samsara Vartmani. Those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. 9.4. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina masthani sarva bhutani nachaham te shravastita. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. 9.5. Na chamatstani bhutani pashyame yogam aishwaram bhuta brin nacha bhutasto matma bhuta bhavana. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation, for myself is the very source of creation.
Okay, yeah, I forgot.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, Rasa Priya.
This material ether, which is one of my entities, is one moving under my interaction, ocean of Kunti, producing all movement and non-movement beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. 9-11. Avatananti Mahamura Parampam Ajaranto Mahamura who derived me when I descended in human form. They do not know my significance. This is the supreme part of all that. Mokha Samokha Parmanu Mokha Gyana Praxasim Asri Deva Prakratam those who are just bewildered are attracted by the unusual techniques and that deluded complacence. Their hopes for liberation, their productive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. 933. Ocean of Africa, those who are not reviewed, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality, God, original and inexhaustible. 14. Sadadam Kirtayam Tomam, Kitantastas Bhavata, Namasyantastam, Patya, Jayapta Upasate. Always standing my words, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great soul, perpetually worship me with devotion.
9:17. Pitaham asya jagato matadhata pitamah vedya pavitram utkara raksama yajurevacha. I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the silver Om. I am also the Rig, the Sama, and the Yajurvedas. 9:21. Etam bhukva svargalokam vishanti Shine punya martyalokam vishanti Evam trayi dharma manuprapanna Gata gatam kama kama latante. When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure, and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, those who seek self-enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death. 922. Ananyashchintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. But those who worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack, and I preserve what they have. 923. Yepyanya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvita tepi mam eva kaunteya yajantyavidhi purvakam. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way.
924. Aham me savayagyanam bhokta cha prabhurevata natumam vijanati natre natasya vartite. I am the desire and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my transcendental nature fall down. Yanti deva vrata devan Pitri yanti pitrivata Bhutani yanti bhuteja Yanti madhya janopimam. Those who worship demigods who take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me. 36. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yame bhaktya pranakshati tadaham bhakta paratam asnami prayatatmanaha. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it.
927. Yat karoshi yadashnasi yad juhoshi tadasiyat yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat purushva madarthanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerity you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. 929. Yasamoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshvasti na priya ye bhajanti tu nam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. 930. Apiche sudaracha Pachate mam anurindha sadhu eva tamantavya samanyajyavasito hisa. Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination.
Radhika?
931. Shiprim bhavati dharmatma shashvat shantim nigacchati konteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace, O son of Kunti. Declare boldly that my devotee never perishes. 932. Mami pata vapashitya yepi su papayonaya striyo veshyas tata shudras tepi yanti param gatim. O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they may be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, and Shudras, can attain the supreme destination. 933. Kim punar brahmanalo punya bhakta rajarshayastata anityam asukham lokam imam prapya bhajasvamam. How much more is this so of the righteous Brahmanas, the devotees, and the saintly kings? Therefore, having come to this temporary, miserable world, engage in loving service unto me. 934. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam evashyasi yuktvevam atmanam matparayanaha. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee. Offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So let's read Mahabharata now. In Mahabharata, we are reading. Yesterday we read about Jayadratha abducting Draupadi. So this is their last year of exile in the forest. After some time, a few months after Durvasa Muni came and left. Uh, all the Pandavas had gone out hunting, and Draupadi was alone in the ashram, in the hermitage, uh, and Daumya Muni was also there for her protection, and of course, the maids were there. So, Jayadratha, we finished this, right? Jayadratha kidnaps Draupadi. Okay, I have to go to the next chapter. Huh? Who went to do austerity?
The other counts already want to do austerities.
Well, that,
Yeah.
so I was saying that Jayadratha was going with an army of about 6,000 chariots, many elephants, and a lot more infantry soldiers. And he was going to Shalva's kingdom to marry Shalva's daughter. So when he when he passed by the area where the Pandavas were staying, he saw Draupadi picking flowers. He didn't know who she was, but he was completely enchanted by her beauty. And he forgot all about the princess that he was going to get married in the Swayamvara that he was going to attend. He sent his son Kotika to go and inquire from her who she was, if she was married, and who her father was, or who her husbands were, if she's a goddess, and also that she should accept Jayadratha as her husband. So Kotika went, and Draupadi, and of course he inquired from her, and then she gave her introduction that she's the wife of the Pandavas, and then he also said how she should marry his father. So she became she didn't like it. So then she said, actually, Kotika doesn't say that, right? Does Kotika that she should marry Jayadratha?
I think he just said that that's my father and he wishes to know who you are. And then Jadar said that you should marry me.
Oh, okay, yeah. Actually, when he said that, no, Kotika says that you should accept my father. He's very much captivated by your beauty and all that. So then he said he shouldn't be, this is not befitting his position. He shouldn't be thinking like this. And then she said she just went inside. Let's just check. Yeah, she went inside, and then Jayadratha came along with some other kings into the. Yeah. So Jayadratha, yeah. So he pointed to his father, this Kotika. He pointing to his father. He said, "That one there, shining like a sacrificial fire, is the king of Sindhu, surrounded by powerful kings. He's traveling at the head of 6,000 chariots, many elephants. Okay, he's gazing upon you. Okay." He gave that one. He said he's gazing upon you. So he gave the hint that he's attracted to you. So she stepped back, pulled her cloth over her head. Oh, Prince, it is not proper for me to speak to you here. So she was still, um, you know, she was still following the etiquette of a host. They were passing by travelers like guests. So she said, "This is not proper for me to talk to you because you're a male, and a woman should not be speaking to another man in a lonely place. So, but all of you are welcome to wait. My husbands have gone out hunting, but they will be back, and they will be more than happy to serve you, to serve the guests like that." She went inside the cottage, and then Jayadrat Kotika went and told his father what she said, and then he was upset, right? Why? So he just went after her into the cottage along with the others, and he was just staring at her beauty. Uh, and he even was not respectful at all to the Pandavas. He said, "Why you are still being faithful to these Pandavas? Now they are so wretched. They don't have any money. They don't have any wealth. You're so beautiful. You should come to me. You should become my queen," like that. So obviously, Draupadi was very angry, and she angrily she said that you don't know what you're doing, right? My husbands, they are so powerful. So when she became angry on him, he enjoyed it even more, looking at her beauty in anger. And finally, he forcibly dragged her. He tried to pull her cloth, and she pushed him, and he fell down. So he got angry, and then he, grabbed her by force, dragged her onto the chariot. Uh, so Daumya Muni, and then he took off. Everyone else was the soldiers, and everyone was following him. And Daumya ran after, calling out to him. And Draupadi was also saying, "You don't know what you're doing, right? When they come, you will regret this act." So, meanwhile, Yudhishthir Maharaj felt inauspicious omens. He could see inauspicious omens, and he could understand something bad was happening. He said, "We should go back immediately. I can tell that something bad is happening." So everyone started rushing back, and soon they arrived at the cottage, and they saw the maid of Draupadi crying. And then so then Yudhishthir Maharaj came to her and said, "What happened?" And she said, "Jayadrat came, and he took her away, and you better go and release her before she succumbs to him," and this and that. So Yudhishthir Maharaj said, "You don't worry about your princess, and you go inside the cottage and control your tongue, your language." And then they immediately went after all five of them. They went in the direction where she pointed. Also, yeah, actually, it was Yudhishthir Maharaj's charioteer who went and asked. And then when she said that, then Yudhishthir said, "Yeah." So then they followed, uh, and they caught up with Jayadrat's army in the back. So Yudhishthir said that Arjun and Bhimsen, or maybe they only suggested that they'll go and take care of Jayadrat and release Draupadi, while Nakul Sahdev will deal with the soldiers in the back. And when Jayadrat saw them, you know, actually just hearing their the wheels of their chariots and the roars, everyone was experiencing. And then they started blowing their conch, declaring, challenging for a battle. And all the soldiers were terror, struck. And uh, and Jayadrat also turned around and he asked Draupadi, "Who are they?" Right? And then she just laughed. She said, "Why you're asking me now? You should have thought about it before doing this act." And then anyway, because you're asked, he said, "Tell me who each one is. Introduce them." So she said, "Anyway, since you're asking, I'll just tell you." And she said, "This is Arjun, this is Bhimsen, this is Yudhishthir and Nakul and Sahadev," like that. And uh, there was a battle, and immediately Jayadrat ordered all. He had a big army there, so he ordered them to fight with the Pandavas, uh, but they were no match. Nakul Sahadev were cutting off heads like cutting wheat in the field. All the soldiers. And Arjun and Bhimsen, they suggested, why, actually Arjun said, "Why are we killing these soldiers, right? Let's go after Jayadrat and release Draupadi." So Jayadratha, when he saw Bhimsen coming after him, he got scared. He dropped Draupadi down from the chariot. He himself jumped off and he ran into the woods. And then Arjun so meanwhile Arjun said to Yudhishthir, you take Draupadi and you can go back to the cottage with Nakul Sahadev. Bhimsen, because the soldiers they were fleeing. So what is the point in fighting with the soldiers? Yes, Isha.
I don't think Jayadratha jumped down from the chariot yet. He put Draupadi down and then left on the chariot because the 4 arrows incident happened later.
Acha, that's right. So he just put Draupadi down, and then he started. Okay, so he went in his chariot. Okay, yeah, that's right. And then he went far into the woods, and Arjun followed. Bhimsen was running, and Arjun followed behind, shot 4 arrows from 2 miles distance, and they and accurately went and shot the 4 horses of Jayadratha. That's right. Then he got, you know, terrified. He jumped off and he started running, and Bhimsen went and he just started punching him. He grabbed him by the hair. He was so angry that he could even think of such a vile act. So uh, he started punching him. He just became dazed in the first few blows. He actually fainted. And then Arjun said, don't kill him, right? Because Yudhishthir Maharaj had said to Bhimsen, don't kill because he is the husband of our sister Dushala. Dushala is Duryodhan's sister. So we shouldn't kill him. So Bhimsen would have killed him instantly, but Arjun also reminded him, "Don't kill him." So he just punched him and he just fainted. And then he thought, how to, I cannot kill him, but I have to give him some punishment which is equivalent to killing. So he took his sword and he started shaving his head, leaving a few tufts here and there. So this is actually a very great insult, worse than killing. So when Jayadratha came back to consciousness, he was completely humiliated. And then he forced him to he said, get on the chariot, you are a slave now, right? And he agreed. Jayadratha agreed. Yes, I will you will be killed. So from now on, wherever you'll go, you have to declare that you're a slave of Yudhishthir. He agreed. And then he put him on the chariot and he said, now let's go to Yudhishthir. Mm. When Draupadi saw, actually, when Yudhishthir Maharaj told Bhimsen before going back to cottage, when Yudhishthir Maharaj told Bhimsen, don't kill him, he is the husband of our sister, Draupadi said, if you ask me, I will tell you to kill that, what did she say? Kill that wicked person. Right away, he deserves to be killed. Anyone who attacks your wife or anyone who, attacks your property, I think your kingdom. He deserves to be killed right away. And then, of course, Yudhishthir Maharaj didn't say anything, understanding the feelings of Draupadi. He just took her back. Now, when Bhimsen brought Jayadratha back to the cottage, uh, uh, um, Draupadi saw him in such a pitiable condition and she actually felt sorry. That's the soft hearted nature, right? Same thing before also. I mean, it will happen later on uh, in the case of Ashwatthama. When she actually saw Ashwatthama bound, she felt sorry. She said, release him, like that. So she told again, yeah, he had enough punishment. Don't punish him anymore. You have humiliated him enough. Release him, like that. And then Yudhishthir Maharaj just, mildly, he kind of corrected Jayadratha and said, don't ever act so rashly and go back. Now you live peacefully. Don't worry, like that. But Jayadratha was completely humiliated. So he decided, how will I go back? Hmm, I have to take revenge on the Pandavas. But I know in a battle I will never be able to defeat the Pandavas. They are so powerful. Then what alternative does he have? He thought, I'll do tapasya to please Lord Shiva. and then I'll ask him for a boon to defeat all 5 Pandavas in battle. So he started performing severe tapasya. For a long time he did. And finally, Lord Shiva appeared and said, "What do you want?" He said, "I want to defeat all the Pandavas in battle." Lord Shiva said, "Even I cannot defeat them." Because the Pandavas are, they're actually uh, born of celestials and they're so virtuous. They're protected by Krishna. So nobody can defeat them. Nobody can defeat them. Especially Arjun. Arjun is an incarnation of Nara. Then, but I can give you one boon because you did this tapasya. For one day, except for Arjun, you'll be able to hold back the other 4 Pandavas. So Jayadratha was happy. He went back and he was waiting for that day. He didn't know when that day would be, but he was waiting for that day when he would be able to uh, actually withstand, I would say, right, the attack of the Pandavas in battle. Not that he was going to defeat them, that was not possible. Yeah, he will be able to hold them back. So that's where we ended yesterday's chapter. Now we'll continue. So the Pandavas are in exile in the 12th year, and just now this Jayadrat's episode happened. Chapter 34, the Lake of Death. As the Pandavas passed their 12th year in the Kamyaka, Indra thought of how he might do them good. Indra is thinking how he can do some good for the Pandavas. The king of the gods knew that Yudhishthir was afraid of Karna, especially because his divine armor and earrings afforded him supernatural protection from weapons. Indra decided to disguise himself as a Brahmin and beg the armor from Karna. Uh, when did Yudhishthir Maharaj get this news? When did he become worried about Karna? Oh, that's right, that's right. Yeah, so Duryodhan did the Vaishnava sacrifice, and after that, Karna took a vow that he will not eat meat and, not engage in sense pleasures, I guess, until he uh, to get powers in order to kill Arjun. Yeah, he doesn't take a vow to kill Krishna, right? That's just the Danava said like that. He said that he'll kill Arjun and Krishna and Krishna. Acha, okay. I thought the vow was specifically for Arjun though. That's why, was it? The Danavas said that. The Danavas said that Karna will kill Krishna and Arjun. That the Danava said. But Karna took a vow especially for Arjun. And when Yudhishthir heard about this, he became concerned. Although the Pandavas didn't, the others didn't take it so seriously, but Yudhishthir Maharaj became very concerned. Why? Because Karna had this impenetrable armor, as long, the armor that he had from birth. As long as he had that armor, no one would be able to kill him in battle. Almost like Bhishma Dev, right? Nobody could kill him. Then that means he can keep fighting forever. And now he's taking a vow to acquire all these pious credits, powers by his austerities with which he wants to kill Arjun. So Yudhishthir Maharaj was concerned. So that's what we are reading here. So Indra is also now concerned. Seeing Yudhishthir Maharaj's concern, Indra is also thinking how he can help the Pandavas, especially because his divine armor. So Yudhishthir was afraid of Karna, especially because his divine armor and earrings afforded him supernatural protection from weapons. Indra decided to disguise himself as a Brahmin and beg the armor from Karna. Divining Indra's intention, the sun god appeared before Karna in a dream. Uh-huh. That means sun understood what is Indra's intention. Divining by his divine power, the sun could understand what Indra was intending to do, to come and beg the armor and earrings of Karna. So the sun god appeared before Karna in a dream in the form of a handsome Brahman. Gently, the Daymaker, the sun, said, O mighty hero, my son, I have come to advise you for your everlasting good. Listen carefully. Indra will come before you, disguised as a Brahman. Oh, the other thing is, Karna also took a vow, along with the vow of not eating meat, he also took a vow that he will not refuse anyone who comes to him asking for a charity. So, if Indra himself came as a Brahman to ask for his armor, he wouldn't be able to say no just to keep his vow. So, he had taken a vow there. So, now the sun god is saying to Karna, I have come to advise you. Listen carefully. Indra will come before you disguised as a Brahman in order to beg from you your armor. He is aware that you have vowed never to refuse charity. You must somehow resist his request. Offer him anything else in its place. If you part with your armor and earrings, which are made of the essence of celestial nectar, you will die in the battle. Possessed of your armor and earrings, however, not even the gods can slay you. So that's the advantage. Even the gods will not be able to kill you if you have your armor and earrings. In his dream, Karna asked, Who are you who cares so much for my welfare? I am the god of limitless rays. I advise you out of affection. You should heed my words. So apparently here Karna does not know that he is sun god's son. Karna did not know that the sun god was his father. He replied, I am fortunate that the Lord, God I worship daily, desires my welfare. Out of my love for you, I say this. Please do not prevent me from observing my vow. Such dishonor would be worse for me than death. O Surya, all the world knows I will part with my life if a Brahman begs for it. Should Indra come to me as a Brahman, I shall not be able to refuse him, whatever he may ask. Fame was everything to Karna. He would never do anything that would lead to infamy. He added, If I give my armor to Indra, I shall win great fame in this world. That's also a motive, to become very famous, even at the risk of, uh, death. And yeah, I mean, it is looked up as a great quality in this world, in the material world, right? So Karna is saying he would never. So Karna is not saying. The author is saying fame was everything to Karna. He would never do anything that would lead to infamy. He added, "If I give my armor to Indra, I shall win great fame in this world, while Indra will become infamous. Fame prolongs life and leads to heaven. A famous man lives even after his death. That's true. While those who are infamous are as good as dead, even though they still breathe. O Surya, I will preserve my fame even at the cost of my life. So what type of fame? That I'm giving charity. Even I'm even willing to sacrifice my life for the sake of giving charity. So that's better. Surya replied, Dear child, a wise man does not do anything that will harm himself or his dependents. There is no doubt that the everlasting fame you desire will cost you your life. Therefore, what profit is there in sacrificing your body for fame? Only while you are alive can you use the fame you accrue. That's another thing. You are saying that you'll become famous, but you won't be there to enjoy your fame. You'll be somewhere else and you won't even remember, isn't it? When you change your body, if you didn't go to heaven, if you just changed your body somewhere else, you wouldn't even remember what fame you got in this world. So that's what the sun god is saying. Fame is useless to a dead man. It is a garland around a corpse, right? You decorate a dead body very nicely. Is the dead body enjoying all that decorations? Because you worship me, I speak for your good. If you use reason, you will be able to distract Indra from his purpose. If you wish to face Arjun in battle, you must not give up your earrings and armor. You will not be able to stand against Arjun without them. So Karna was still not convinced. O God of brilliant rays, you are dearer to me than my wife, sons, friends, and even my own self. Please cherish me as a devoted worshipper and allow me to do as I please. I cannot embrace falsehood. Death would be preferable. With bowed head and repeated prayers, I implore you to forgive me, for I cannot do as you say. I do not fear Arjun. Parashuram has given me powerful weapons. I will defeat Arjun in the battle when the time comes. Please permit me to observe my vow when Indra approaches me. Surya could see that Karna would not change his mind. It was as the god had expected, and he had already considered an alternative. So Surya knew he expected that Karna would not agree, so he came with a second, backup plan in case Karna didn't agree. Then do something else like that. So he had already considered an alternative. He continued to address his son in gentle tones. O powerful one, if you must give your armor and earrings to Indra, then you should ask him something in return. Worshipping him with pleasing words, you should offer him your armor only in exchange for the infallible dart he possesses. That weapon can destroy any enemy. If you possess that weapon, you will remain invincible. Ask him for it. It is called the Shakti. Suddenly, Surya vanished and Karna awoke, thinking about his dream. After bathing, he went before the rising sun with folded palms. He told the sun everything that had occurred in his dream. From the heavens, a voice echoed, "This is all true." Amazed, Karna returned to his palace, expecting Indra's arrival at any time. A few days later, Karna entered the Ganges at noon to perform his daily worship of the sun god. Each day at the end of his worship, the Brahmins would come to beg charity. He never refused anyone anything. Now Indra came to him dressed as a Brahmin. Seeing the effulgent ascetic standing before him, Karna said, "You are most welcome. What can I offer you? If you like, I can bestow upon you villages, cows, and beautiful damsels adorned with gold." "I do not desire any of these things," the Brahman replied. "You may give these to others who beg for them. O sinless one, if you are true to your vow, then cut from your body your armor and earrings and give them to me. This is all I desire." Realizing that this was Indra, Karna replied, "I will gladly give you whatever you wish, but why ask only for my armor? Take from me instead enough wealth to maintain you and all your dependents for as long as you live." Karna tried in various ways to distract Indra from his goal, but the god made it clear that he wanted only the armor. Finally, Karna said, "Divested of my natural armor and earrings, which were created from celestial nectar, I shall die in battle. That is why I am reluctant to part with them. Still, I know you are Indra and that you are here to help the Pandavas. As the Lord of the gods, it is you who should be bestowing boons upon me. Therefore, O Deva, please consider offering me a boon in exchange for my armor." Indra replied, "Before I came here, Surya divined my intentions. No doubt he has told you all. Let it be as you desire. With the exception of my thunderbolt weapon, ask from me what you wish." Feels like a chess game or something. Each person is, you know, proposing his, uh, you know, like they're making their move, isn't it? First, Indra comes and asks for the armor, and Karna is trying to, evade it, and then finally he cannot. He has to give it. Then he's saying, "Give me something in return, because if I give this, I'll be killed in the battle." So then now Indra is saying, "Okay, the sun told you everything. All right, you can take anything except the thunderbolt." So, huh, Karna asked for the Shakti dart Surya had mentioned. Shakti. Indra reflected for a moment and replied, I have invoked the weapon and will give it to you as soon as you give me your armor. Give and take. But, but I do so under one condition. When I release this dart, it kills hundreds of my enemies and returns to my hand. You see one more thing here. That is why demigod worship is compared to a business deal. You give them something and then you get something in return. And it's over after that. There's no love and all that. It doesn't happen. It's not possible. You only those who are lusty, who want material desires fulfilled, they go to demigods. So materialistic people will go to the demigods. And the mentality of materialistic people is like businessmen. So they pay and they get what they want, like that. So this transaction also, of course, he was not worshipping Indra, but still the demigod and human being. So when I release this dart, it kills hundreds of my enemies. Okay, I'll start that again. I have invoked the weapon and will give it to you as soon as you give me your armor. But I do so under one condition. When I release this dart, it kills hundreds of my enemies and returns to my hand. However, you will be able to release it but once to kill one powerful enemy. When your enemy has been slain, it will return to my hand, not yours. So, Shakti weapon, when you get, you should be able, like Arjun got. He got celestial weapons and he got the mantra to use it. And he can call it whenever he wanted. Karna is not going to get Shakti weapon like that. That whenever he wants, he will call and he will use and will kill so many soldiers. Not like that. Yes, Isha?
He has like a one-time pass.
Yeah, exactly. One time. So you'll get it, and then you use it on only one enemy, and then it comes back to me. It won't return to you. Karna was grave. I need it only for one enemy. I desire to kill only one mighty foe. I know your desire, but the one you wish to kill is protected by a high-souled being. The great Lord Krishna, who is the inconceivable Narayan, protects him. But be that as it may, give me a weapon, for it will surely be capable of slaying any human enemy. I shall then cut my armor from my body, but I ask that you prevent my body from becoming disfigured. It's a completely like a deal here, right? Okay, I'm giving you the armor, but you have to make sure that my body will not be disfigured, right? It will become normal again. So be it. Because you desire to adhere to truth, you will not be scarred. You will be restored to your present handsome and shining complexion. With a sharp sword, Karna immediately began to cut away his armor. Seeing Karna smiling through the pain, the gods and demons roared like lions. The gods and demons roared like lions and beat celestial drums. Kshatriya, right? I mean, it is a brave act. A shower of, or a fearless act. A shower of heavenly flowers fell upon Karna as he took off the armor and earrings and handed them, wet with blood, to Indra. Then Indra gave Karna his weapon, saying, do not use this weapon unless you face the gravest danger. Otherwise it will fall upon you. The god then soared into the sky, feeling he had accomplished the Pandavas' purpose. The Pandavas stayed in the Dvaitavana for the final part of their exile in the forest. Only a short while remained before they had to disguise themselves and hide for the 13th year. They wondered where they should go. One day, as they sat discussing in the company of rishis, a Brahman in obvious dress came before Yudhishthir. Sorry. A Brahman in obvious distress came before Yudhishthir. He explained that a deer had caught hold of the sticks he had used to light his sacred fire and taken them into the forest. The sticks, along with my ladle and other paraphernalia, were tied in a bundle. Somehow the deer caught them on his horns. O hero, I must have them back so that my sacrifice may not be stopped. Yeah. So one Brahmana who does yagyas, all his yagya paraphernalia were tied in a bundle, and a deer happened to take it away. Like the bundle got stuck in the horns of the deer, and the deer ran away. And the Brahmin is not able to get them back. And this is in the forest. Where is he going to get uh, the paraphernalia to do his sacrifice? So he said to Yudhishthir Maharaj, I must have them back so that my sacrifice may not be stopped. Yudhishthir reassured the Brahmin and stood up at once with his brothers. Taking up their bows, they went in pursuit of the deer. Although they shot many arrows at it, however, they could not catch the animal. It bounded swiftly away and vanished into the woods. The brothers became tired and disappointed, and coming to a large banyan tree, they sat down in its shade. So the Pandavas, all five Pandavas running after the deer, uh, could not retrieve the paraphernalia. They couldn't catch the deer. So they got so exhausted they sat under a banyan tree. With a heavy heart, Nakul said to Yudhishthir, in our race, virtue has never been sacrificed, and we have never been idle, nor have we ever refused anything to any creature. How then has this calamity befallen us, O king? Yudhishthir placed his large bow on the ground. Somebody takes shelter of the king, and if he's not able to give protection of a kshatriya, he's not able to give protection. That is such a big, uh, it's a failure on the part of kshatriya. So that's why Sahadev is saying, how did this happen? So Yudhishthir placed his large bow on the ground. There is no limit to misfortunes in this world, dear brother. We cannot always ascertain their causes because it is the great god Dharma who distributes the fruits of both virtue and sin. So whatever we are suffering is the result of our sins. So we cannot ascertain, right, how and why things are happening. Bhima frowned. We have met with this disaster because I did not slay Dushasan when he dragged Draupadi into the assembly hall. So Bhimsen is saying the reason for this is my sin of not killing Dushasan when he dragged Draupadi into the assembly hall. I too am to blame for our present misfortune in that I did not retaliate when Karna uttered his cruel words that day, Arjun added. And I too am to blame, said Sahadev. I should have slain Shakuni at the dice game as soon as he cheated you, O king. Yudhishthir turned to Nakul. It is certainly hot in this forest. Quickly climb a tall tree and look around for a lake. Your brothers are tired and thirsty. Having refreshed ourselves, we can then decide what to do next. Nakul climbed a nearby tree and gazed around. There seems to be water not far away, he called. I see what appears to be a lake and can hear the cries of cranes. As Nakul slid down the trunk, Yudhishthir said, O handsome brother, go and fetch water for us all. Nakul emptied the arrows from a couple of quivers and left his brothers. He soon arrived at a large, clear lake covered with lotuses and lilies. Okay. As Nakul slid down the trunk, Yudhishthir said, O handsome brother, go and fetch water for us all. Nakul emptied the arrows from a couple of quivers and left his brothers. That means he'll bring water in the quivers. He soon arrived at a large, clear lake covered with lotuses and lilies. Kneeling down on the shore, he was about to drink when he heard a voice from the sky saying, O child, do not drink this water. This lake is mine, and no one may drink its water without first answering my question. Nakul looked around. He could not see anyone. His thirst was intense. Not caring for the voice, he cupped his hands and drank the water. As soon as it passed his lips, he fell down dead. Nakul fell down dead. After some time, Yudhishthir became anxious. Nakul had not returned. He asked Sahadev to look for him. Sahadev followed his brother's path and also came to the lake. Seeing Nakul lying dead on its shore, he was grief stricken. He touched his brother, looking for signs of life. Nakul seemed to be buried in a deep slumber. He had not lost his bodily luster, so he was not dead, but it appeared like he was unconscious. He was in a deep sleep. But there was no pulse, and he was not breathing. Sahadev stood up, perplexed. Feeling an unbearable thirst, he went to the water's edge to drink. As he knelt down, he heard the same voice from the sky. Do not drink the water of my lake. First of all, answer my questions, and then you may drink. Sahadev was unable to heed the words. His thirst was oppressive. He took a swallow of the cool water and, like his brother, fell dead. So he also, without answering, water, and so he died, or he dropped on the floor. Uh, Seeing that neither of the twins had returned after nearly an hour, Yudhishthir told Arjun to go and see what had happened. With his bow at the ready and his sword unsheathed, Arjun proceeded with caution. Finding the twins lying on the water's edge, he was seized with pain. He ran over to them and knelt by their sides. There were no signs of life. Arjun was amazed. Who could have killed them? There was no indication of a fight. Arjun looked around but saw only the trees moving in the breeze and the water birds on the surface of the lake. He went down to the water's edge to slake his thirst, and again the voice resounded from the sky. O Partha, do not attempt to drink this water by force. It is mine, and you may only take it after answering my questions. Arjun shouted up to the skies, come into my presence and prevent me. You will not speak in this way again when you are riven by my arrows. He immediately released countless arrows which, empowered by mantras, were capable of hitting an unseen object. Arjun filled the sky with arrows, darts, and javelins. Again the voice spoke. Your exertions are useless, Arjun. Answer my questions, or if you drink the water, you will die. Disregarding these words, Arjun took a sip of water and fell dead alongside his brothers. Almost another hour had passed. Yudhishthir felt increasing anxiety. He now sent Bhima, O tormentor of foes, we have been seated here for a long time awaiting our brothers. I think you should find them and bring them back. I shall wait here. Bhima nodded and rose, running quickly along the path to the lake. When he saw his three brothers lying there, he was astonished. Surely this was the work of a powerful Rakshasa. It seemed hardly possible that any being could have slain Arjun and the twins. Bhima considered that he would soon have to face a formidable enemy. He had best drink some water and overcome his fatigue in preparation for the fight. The Pandava ran down to the water, and again the celestial voice resounded in the heavens. O child, do not attempt to drink from my lake. First, answer my questions. Bhima thought that the voice must have come from whomever had killed his brothers. He looked around angrily. That wicked being would soon repent his vile act. Not caring for his warning, Bhima plunged his face into the water and drank. Like his brothers, he fell to the ground dead. Alone, Yudhishthir waited, but when Bhima didn't return, his mind was filled with foreboding. He thought it impossible that Bhima and Arjun could be overcome in battle. Where were they? Perhaps they had found celestial delights by the lake and were enjoying them together? No, they would surely not neglect their duty. They had received his order and knew he was waiting. The Brahman's paraphernalia also still had to be recovered. Something must have happened to prevent them from returning. Apprehensively, Yudhishthir set off alongside the forest path. Passing by trees covered in blue and red blossoms, Yudhishthir approached the lake. The warbling of birds and the hum of bees resounded in his ears as he moved quickly through the woods. Within a short time, he came to the lake, which seemed to him as if it had been transported from Indra's abode. It was covered with lotuses and surrounded by blossoming trees and varieties of wild forest flowers. By the side of the delightful lake, however, Yudhishthir saw his four brothers fallen to earth, resembling the four Lokapalas. Who are the four Lokapalas? Yamaraj, Varuna, yes, Madhava. Go ahead, Madhava.
Yamaraj, Varuna, Indradev, and Kuvera.
Yes. Okay, good. So Yudhishthir saw his four brothers fallen to earth, resembling the four Lokapalas, fallen from the heavens at the end of an age. Yudhishthir ran to his brothers and fell to the ground by their side. Breathing heavily, he shed tears of grief. He lamented loudly, his voice echoing from the tall trees around the lake. O mighty arm Bhima, you swore you would break Duryodhan's thighs in battle. Of what value is that promise now? O Arjun, how are you lying here today? Human promises may prove false, but how can those of the gods? We heard all the celestials proclaim your glories and declared that you would win back our lost kingdom. None will be able to vanquish him in battle, was Indra's prophecy. How has this come to pass? Surely my heart is made of stone, because it does not shatter upon seeing such a sight. As he looked at his motionless brothers, Yudhishthir was beside himself with grief. He cried for some time, his mind utterly confused. Gradually he managed to control himself and ponder the situation. Who could have slain these great warriors? There were no signs of battle. Their bodies were unmarked, and they seemed to have dropped to the earth in some deep, dreamless sleep. Yudhishthir looked carefully at the lake. Perhaps Duryodhan had made it and filled it with poison. But no poison could kill Bhima. Maybe the Kauravas had conspired with the Asuras to bring about the Pandavas' death. But again, what Asura could face Arjun, who had single handedly overpowered the Nivata Kavachas? Yudhishthir looked around. He could see no footprints. Arjun's arrows were scattered here and there, but there was no blood. It was unimaginable that Arjun would not have hit his enemy. He never discharged his arrows uselessly. Yudhishthir considered that some mighty being without a material body must have overpowered his brothers. He examined them closely. Although they appeared dead, they had not lost their color and their features were unchanged. Their souls were surely still present, although the symptoms of life were gone. It seemed that their life force had been removed by the god of death himself. Huh. So he's coming close now. Life force is removed by the god of death himself, acting from within them. Convinced of this, Yudhishthir thought he would discover the truth if he entered the lake. It was because of this lake that his brothers had met their death. Yudhishthir went down to the water and throwing off his armor, plunged in. Immediately he heard the same voice that had spoken to his brothers. O child, do not take this water. This lake belongs to me, and if you want to drink, you must first answer my questions. Yudhishthir gazed around. Who are you? He shouted. I am a crane living on moss and fish. Your younger brothers, disregarding my warning, have been brought by me under the control of death. O king, if you do not answer my questions, then you shall become the fifth victim. Yudhishthir looked about in astonishment. He saw the crane on a tree buff near the lake. Are you Shiva or the foremost of the Vasus? Or are you Marut? It is not possible for a bird to have killed these four mountain like heroes. O strongest of all those endowed with strength, you have achieved what even the gods, Gandharvas, and Asuras could not do. I do not know who you are or what is your intention, but I am curious to know these things, and I am also terrified. My heart is troubled and my mind confused. Please tell me why you stay here and what you desire. Yudhishthir then saw the crane transform into a huge, fearful looking being. His large red eyes were pointed, and he blazed like the sun. Roaring like a thundercloud, he said, I am a yaksha, not a bird. Hail to you! It was I who killed your energetic brothers for their own faults. Although forbidden to drink, they disregarded me. If one loves life, he should not attempt to take this water by force. The lake is mine, and one may take its water only after answering my questions. O Yaksha, I do not wish to take what is yours. I shall try to answer your questions to the best of my ability. Please ask what you will. The Yaksha began to place questions before Yudhishthir. What makes the soul rise out of his entanglement in matter? Who keeps him company? Who is his guide on that spiritual journey? And on what is he established? Answer. It is knowledge of the Supreme Lord which makes the soul rise. Godly qualities are his companions. Dharma is the guide, is his guide, and he is established on truth. Next question. What makes one learned? How does one attain to that which is most exalted? How does one acquire a second self? And by what, O king, does one become wise? Yudhishthir Maharaj's answer. One becomes learned by studying the Vedas. By asceticism, one attains what is most exalted. Intelligence is like a second self, and serving one's elders makes one wise. The Yaksha then asked about all kinds of subjects, ranging from worldly wisdom to knowledge of religion to spiritual matters. Yudhishthir answered them all without hesitation. Finally, the Yaksha said, I am satisfied. Answer my last 4 questions, and I will restore one of your brothers to life. Who in this world is happy? What is the most wonderful thing? What are the tidings of this world? And how can one find the eternal path of religion? With folded palms, Yudhishthir replied, He who is neither in debt nor exiled, and who lives simply, eating simple food in his own home, is happy. The most wonderful thing is that although every day innumerable creatures go to the abode of death, still a man thinks he is immortal. The tidings are that in this world, which is like a cauldron with the sun as its fire, days and nights as its fuel, and months and seasons as its wooden ladle, all creatures are being cooked by time. Okay. The eternal religious path is found only in the heart of great mystics. The Yaksha smiled. You have rightly answered every question. Tell me, which of your brothers you wish to have restored to life? O Yaksha, let Nakul, as tall as a sal tree and endowed with a broad chest and long arms, be brought to life. The Yaksha was surprised. Bhimsen is surely more important to you than Nakul, O king, and Arjun is your chief support. Why do you ask for Nakul to be revived? He who sacrifices virtue is himself destroyed, replied Yudhishthir, and he who preserves virtue is in turn preserved by it. I am therefore careful to always observe virtue. For me, great virtue lies in refraining from cruelty. It is superior to all worldly gain. Thus I ask for Nakul. Both Kunti and Madri are the same to me. In myself, Kunti still has one son, but Madri now has none. With a desire to behave equally toward my 2 mothers, I ask for the life of Nakul. Since, O Pandava, you consider abstention from cruelty superior to both profit and desire, then let all your brothers be restored to life. As the Yaksha spoke, the 4 brothers rose from the ground as if from a sleep. They felt refreshed and free from hunger and thirst. Yudhishthir then asked the Yaksha, Who are you, O great being who assumes the form of a crane? Tell me in truth your identity. Are you a god? Perhaps you are my father himself. Yudhishthir had guessed correctly, and the Yaksha replied, I am indeed your father. O best of the Bharatas, know me to be Dharma.
I have come here with the intention of meeting you. Fame, truth, self-control, purity, simplicity, charity, modesty, steadiness, asceticism, and celibacy are my limbs. I am reached by abstention from cruelty, impartiality, peacefulness, asceticism, purity, and humility. You possess all these qualities, dear son. By good fortune, you have conquered your mind and senses and practiced virtue. I wanted to test you, and I am fully satisfied. Ask me for boons, and I will bestow them. Those who are ever devoted to me need never experience misfortune. Yudhishthir bowed respectfully before his father and said, my first desire is that the Agnihotra of the Brahmin, whose fire sticks were lost, not be destroyed. O son of Kunti, it was I, in the form of a deer, who carried away those sticks. I shall return them to you. Ask for some other boon. Yudhishthir thought carefully and said, the 12 years of our forest life are now complete. For the 13th year, we must live incognito. Please grant that no man will recognize us during that time. So be it. Even if you wander about in the world as your actual selves, you will not be recognized. Through my favor, you will lead a secret, incognito life in the city of Virata. Now take these fire sticks and ask from me another boon. I am not satisfied with conferring only these two favors. O Yudhishthir, you should know that I begot you. Vidur, your friend and well-wisher, is also a part of myself. Dharma handed the sticks to Yudhishthir, who replied, O God of gods, it is enough for me that I have seen you. To please you, however, I will accept one further boon. O Lord, grant that I may always overcome avarice, folly, and anger, and that my mind be always inclined toward charity, asceticism, and truth. Dharma smiled and said, by nature you are gifted with these qualities, O Pandava. You are already the embodiment of virtue, but I grant your desire. The god then disappeared, leaving the 5 Pandavas standing together on the shore of the lake. In wonder, they returned to their hermitage with the Brahmin's fire sticks. They experienced so many wonders. Krishna coming and saving them, Durvasa Muni going away. Okay, so we will stop here. Tomorrow we will begin entering into Virata, Agyatvas.